Welcome back, Balance Beamers. I'm your host, Naketa Thigpen, and as always, you have the opportunity to share just a small, brief moment of time with us as we welcome another incredible professional. This time, we bring you someone who is near and far, who is probably right in your backyard, and you never even knew how close your next level change was. I welcome Ashvini Mashru. She is a registered dietitian, amazing woman. She is a beast in her own practice of helping you get the healthier you that you need to be on all levels. And she works with clients from right down the street in her house in Chester Springs all the way through the next country. If you can imagine having all those questions answered for what do I eat, what do I do, where do I go, how do I get a healthier me, how do I balance my life, how do I get my sexy back, Ashvini is the one for you to ask those questions. So I welcome you, Ashvini, to the Balance Beam. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being with us. You know I've been stalking you for a little while.
Yes. We've been stalking each other, probably, I should say.
You're a busy woman. Between your business and all the media attention and all the things you've had going on, you've just had a couple of really incredible awards happen. Tell us what's going on with you.
Well, thank you for asking. Yes, I'm very excited to share that I just recently found out that I won the Best of Mainline Best Dietitian Award by Mainline Times. So I'm so excited about it. I'm so very honored to get this opportunity and this award, especially with my people who know me personally, know my personal journey and where I started and where I am today in my life and my business. So this award really means a lot, and people who voted for me, really very thankful for that. And yeah, so I will be honored on June 17th in Wayne, Pennsylvania, at a reception. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, I can't wait to take pictures and, with the award and do the whole thing and post it and all of that. Yes, thank you for asking.
No, I'm excited. This is a big deal.
Yes.
First of all, the main line is not a small area. Montgomery County in Pennsylvania, and I know people in listening from Balance Beam are all over the world, but it's a pretty big part of Pennsylvania, and it's a pretty big deal. It's not a small thing, and you should be really humbled and proud of that moment simultaneously. And I know you well enough to know that you are both of those things, so I'm excited. You mentioned your personal journey. What does that mean for people who don't know you, especially as it relates to just being an authentic woman in business?
So my personal journey was obviously when I'm originally from India. That's where I belong. I came to this country about 15 years ago, and when I started my journey to be where I am today, or I call it my American dream, to build my American dream. I still remember 15 years ago, I didn't have any money. I was starting from scratch. I had to relearn everything, right from basic, how to dress myself, how to talk to people in this country, how to go back to school, how to shop for food, little things, how to drive, how to get myself from point A to point B. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to read maps. I didn't know anything at all. So just that whole journey from starting from scratch to putting myself through school and working 2 jobs, and obviously working for 10 years as a dietitian, and then starting my own business and coming to this point of winning an award of the best of, is obviously a big journey and big deal for me. And I'm very humble, like you mentioned, very honored to be in this position of my life today, where I can be sitting back and just looking back at those 15 years and be very thankful and grateful for everybody who supported me through this journey.
This is incredible. I mean, when I think about going to a new city, let alone a new country, and just having to understand the culture of what's happening around you in that particular environment, not including the outer cultural differences that happen, just understanding urban culture from suburban culture, just that by itself, let alone now you're going into a bachelor's program and a master's program and that professional academic world and then the medical world. You had to literally jump through so many layers of cultural change and adaptation and still maintain your own sense of being. That is incredible to me on every level.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate those kind words. Yes, it was a journey, and it was very. Some days were stressful, emotional. Some days I thought, oh, I'm never gonna get through this. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And during that time, I even had my kids. I mean, I was in graduate school, and I was pregnant, and I did it all of that together. I still look back and I was like, okay, I don't know how I did that, but I just did it. Just because I knew this was my goal. I had a goal in mind, and I knew if I don't do it now, I will never do it ever in my life. There was a point where I was about to quit my master's program just because I had a week-old baby, and I just delivered a newborn baby, and I was like, I'm never going to go back because I just want to stay home and be a mom. But my husband, my family, everybody pushed me. Like, if you don't do it now, because I was not in that right mindset then. So if you don't do it now, you will never do it again. I'm so glad to have these people in my life right now, even back then, that supported me to pull me through this and to be where I am today. So yeah, it was an incredible experience.
Ashvini, you mentioned so many valuable points, but one that I want to highlight the most is you had the right people telling you the right encouraging thing. And at the end of the day, the decision and the choice to act on that encouragement belong to you at the end of the day. But to have the right people not saying, oh yeah, it's all right, Ashvini, sit back, just let your body heal. All correct information. Just enjoy your baby. All correct information. But they could have kind of let you stay there instead of saying, listen, I see more of your next level than you can in this moment because you're postpartum, your body's wide open, and you have a screaming newborn that you are totally attached to and you just want to cuddle with. I can relate to it, but at the same time, I see where you're going and I want you to get there. That's a very different circle to have around you.
Right. And like I said, my husband, I still remember, my husband actually drove me. I was 1 week postpartum, drove me all the way. We were living in New Jersey to Immaculata, which is in Malvern. He said, I will come with you. I will make sure you get through this master's program, and I will sit with you outside that classroom if you want me to do that while you finish your master's program. And he did that all the time, until, I was healing and I was unable to drive. He did that. So yes, you're right. I had the right people. I still have the right people in my life to continue to help me support and motivate me and get the best out of me, and you're right. I mean, the decision is always on me when I do, after that, or decide which direction to go. But yes, I do have the right people to get the best out of me. So I'm glad about that. I'm very thankful for that touch point. So, yeah, thank you.
No, you're welcome. I was just listening to it and I was just thinking how often so many of us can relate to, whether it's professional or personal, where there is no bad decision because both make sense. It makes sense for you to enjoy your baby and heal your body. It also makes sense for you to finish what you started. So there was no wrong way to go, but there was a better way to go. And having the right people around you to see the better way and not to let you kind of get complacent with the good way makes a difference. I mean, look at where you are in 2015. This is incredible.
Yeah. And I like to be around people who kind of motivate me and challenge me, that who can bring the best out of me, because that's how you're going to be at your best. I mean, yes, like you said, there's a better way and there's the best way. So it's up to you and then to decide which way you want to go. There's no right or wrong. You just have to keep doing your best every single day and keep being your best every single day. So that's what I, in my personal life, that's what I do every single day since day one. I landed in this country. Keep doing your best every day.
Absolutely. So what do you do? You know, this comes up a lot for everybody, regardless of whether or not they're an entrepreneur or you're a professional and an entrepreneur. So, you know, I call you a careerpreneur, and you're creative. So roll it all together. There you go.
Always on the go.
Always on the go. That's how I like them. We speak the same language when it comes to that. So what do you do when you hit those moments and your husband's at work, the kids are in school, because I know the girls are older now. Everybody's off doing their own thing. Let's assume that you don't have a client about to walk into your office, or you're about to step into a virtual session with someone across the world, and you hit a low, and you hit a moment where your mindset is playing tricks with you again, and you're really at that place when you're doubting or you're rethinking some next level decision. Do you have a strategy or a process that you do to kind of pull you back into that moment, basically to refocus you to where you need to go, even if that means changing the way you were going to handle that situation before, but to just kind of pull you out of that funk? Is there something that you do?
Yeah, I mean, we all have those moments, where you kind of self-doubt yourself, kind of like, oh, can I get through this? Or I don't know, I'm not sure if I can do this, and especially, I don't know, it just happens to be before a client walks in or before a client session, or if it's a new challenging client, I don't know if I can do it. But this is what I think, this is how I, reboot myself. But I have come this far and figured it out. I can figure out, X, Y, Z. I can figure out whatever my next challenge is. And that's how I kind of bring myself back up and do what I need to do and be good at what I'm good at. And then I also think, tell myself that I have the training, I have the knowledge, I have all these skills, I have the education to help my clients to be at service for them and provide them the best possible service. So I have all those credentials behind me and the knowledge and the experience behind me. So that's why I need to be at my best. I have all these tools to just be at my best. So why not use it? I have put in so much hard work, and I'm not just going to let it go. So that's when I start back up again and kind of recharge myself and get back to what I need to do. Yeah.
I love that. As you were talking, because I'm really visual, which is why, because you and I have had outside conversations in cafes, and my eyes will start darting all over the place when I'm picturing what you're saying. And as soon as you started talking about like really challenging yourself to greatness, really to your next level, I saw you with like boxing gloves on with yourself, like, oh no, come on, we're going to get this together. We have this. I love that.
I can do this, like kind of like I cannot give up now. No. So yeah, you're right. With that visual that you had, it was a great visual, and I can picture myself like that right now.
I know you're a fighter. I know.
I know. I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, if I can do this, I can figure anything out in my life. Definitely.
Absolutely. All right. So let me talk about this mama mode that you're in. How old are your girls now?
So I have two daughters, 11 and 9. And they're obviously on summer vacation now, and they love it. Although I'm like, how am I gonna, deal with kids home and camps and driving them everywhere, and it's challenging during summer, handling a business and having kids at home. So yes, two beautiful daughters.
I know they are incredible because they are seeds of you and your husband. But I know they're also very precocious children, just like my own, raised in this world of privilege that we've given them because they don't really understand the life that we came from. And the differences and the choices and the struggles. And there's a blessing in that because they don't have to understand it from a level of living in it. But with that becomes these extra demands like, oh, mom, you have 5 clients to see today, 3 Skype sessions, and you're doing board pitches for corporate programs. Right, but I want to go get my nails done. So when can you drive me?
Yes, and that happens. I totally understand what you're saying, and that happens. So yeah, I mean, I have 2 girls, but yeah, they understand, that their mom's taking care of them, while taking care of her business. So they need to be good. Otherwise, obviously, they know they will have consequences.
Yeah, like you can't go to that party and I'm not driving you to that extra activity you wanted to go to. How about that?
Exactly. You know, they know what my limitations are. We obviously sit and talk, and if mommy can do it, mommy will do it. If mommy, something that mommy cannot figure it out or cannot do it, they just have to adjust and adapt to that. That's basically it, you know. That's what they have to learn.
Do you find yourself negotiating with your girls in a way that reminds you of how you had to negotiate in the medical world and the corporate?
So, yes, sometimes now that my oldest, 11, is a preteen, or I don't know, what do you want to call it, pre-tween, you know, in that age, she does, you know, Ma, if I do this for you, she will do that for me. So we do that every day. If you take the trash out, I will, you know, you can do X, Y, Z, or you can go to your friend's house, or I'll drop you off to your friend's house for a party or something like that. So yes, I am always doing that. Yes. I think that's the language I talk to her. I use that probably every day. If you do the dishes, you get to do this.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, it's part of what is attractive about you, because that's your ideal client, is busy moms and busy women, right?
Yes, busy women who are either working, stay at home, who are business owners or in corporate America, and those are kind of the women that I work with who are struggling with their nutrition issues. So it can be as simple as, I want to learn how to eat healthy and lose weight, to the other end of the spectrum where multi-medical conditions, like I just found out I have diabetes, or I'm pregnant and have gestational diabetes, or I have, you know, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. I don't know how to juggle my nutrition and my medications, and that's when they reach out to me and I can start helping them. Yes.
That makes sense. So you can speak to them from the heart of a wife, a woman, and a mother, a caregiver, basically, regardless of whether or not they have children, and some people are taking care of their parents as well in lieu of children. But then you also clearly have the right tools in your professional toolkit to help them adjust in a realistic manner. Because it's one thing to just say, oh, do these 10 things on a checklist. It's another to listen to the reality that they have a demand on them that doesn't fall into a flow of checklist items in a traditional sense.
Right. So it's like I connect to them emotionally. I know I do the professional work with them, but I connect to them heart to heart. You know, that's what brings us together. And, you know, when I mean, we talk about our challenges, we talk about our, you know, what our aspirations are. We talk about, you know, it's not just nutrition. Obviously, they're there for nutrition, but we do talk about other things during our session. We also talk about, you know, and it's realistic. It's not coming from a person who's just, like you said, making stuff up. Do X, Y, Z, or do this thing and go figure it out. And, you know, here's the thing. Here's, you know, meal plan. Do it. No, I know it's, you know, it's because it's realistic. I live that life too.
Absolutely. I was reflecting back to when you and I had met. I think we were in King of Prussia, maybe.
Yes.
And we were sitting and loving each other as we normally do. And a woman from Long Island was sitting behind me, right?
Yeah.
And listening to our conversation. And she was perfect example of someone who's a mom who was struggling with, I think she said her son was 14-ish. Who was dealing with some challenges around, you know, body image and confidence and just a lot of the things that come with that. And she did give a little bit of a sneak peek into the window of her world with some dietary challenges, because he's 14 and he's a boy and he wants to eat and live and do the things that other kids do, which is usually not thinking about what they're putting in their bodies.
Right.
And you just had some amazing, incredible words of wisdom for her, and you immediately connected, not because of just your RD and your countless certifications. You have a whole laundry list of certifications post your master's degree that I can't even list right now. But you connected as a woman, as a mom who totally understands that I can tell you on paper what your son needs to be doing, give me privy to his medical records and I can help you guide. But listening to what your struggle is as a mom trying to help her son see if he doesn't change these behaviors, where it could lead him, that gave me a whole nother insight to what your differentiator is, your incredible value proposition for yourself inside your business. Because in addition to being an RD, you also are a wellness coach, and all those things really leverage you at a whole other level than people who don't have your background across the board.
Right, and I agree to what you said. The reason why I'm different, or to go back to what you said, is because I can relate to them, personally, emotionally, and then obviously I bring in my professional expertise and my background. So I just connect that together, and that's how I serve my clients, and that's why my clients love me and they keep coming back to me, and that's where I'm at right now.
Well, that's what allows you to balance your life so efficiently, is you're not trying to create a persona in addition to who you are and manage one more thing. You're just emerging all of you and all the personal and professional parts of you into your business, because it helps to stabilize and it attracts the right clients to you. So you've allowed yourself to balance in a way that I think a lot of people, whether they are on the straight and narrow professional road or the entrepreneurial road, could borrow some of that formula from, because so many people are trying to create an image, this other persona, this other way, because they think they need to do something to fit in and get the next promotion at work or to attract the right clients. And that adds chaos to the 17 things they're juggling already. So I commend you for that, Ashvini, really.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate those kind words. Yeah, it's all about being you. Just be who you are, and people will be attracted to who you are and what you have to offer. And like you said, you don't have to do anything extra special to fit in or do something extra. Just present yourself as who you are, and you will attract the right kind of clients. For me, it's the busy women or busy moms, and that's who I attract now. So that's, thank you for those kind words. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome. My gifting is summarized. No, I'm joking. So speaking of attracting, because we attract a lot of things, typically the things that we want, but sometimes we attract people who are, I hate to use this term, but I'm going to use it anyway, who are very leechful, who are leeching from us. They're zapping your energy. They just want to be around you to get all the information they can from you, because you have a service, which is your intellectual property. So it's in your head. And instead of going through the proper channels to, book you for a consultation and or join some of your webinar series or purchase your books or any of those things, they want to invite you to coffee, right? And then open up the Pandora's box of, Ashvini, I have XYZ issues, and what would you do with someone who has this, and how do you handle that? And before you know it, just giving, great conversation turns into you pouring out your expertise and information, and you've literally attracted this negative energy to you because you've walked away feeling drained, that you just gave so much value. And I'm not saying you shouldn't give some value, but you gave so much of your value for free because you were manipulated into it. And I know you're better at that now than maybe you were, 4 or 5 years ago when you started. Learning experience. So how did you handle it once you identified what just happened? What did you do to be like, okay, I am not wasting any more time with this?
Yeah, no, you're right, and it has happened to me in the past, and that's why learning experience. So, obviously I used to do that. Everybody does that. Otherwise, how are you going to learn?
Right.
I did that, and I'm not going to say that I didn't do it. But you learn, from now I've come to this point where when something like this happens, obviously it doesn't happen anymore, but if this happens, I would let them know that I offer a 30-minute complimentary consultation. We can do it on the phone, but you don't have to meet for that. And I know people will say, oh, let's do a coffee and we'll do that. But you need to just set your boundaries. You just have to have some personal and professional boundaries for yourself. Like, look, this is what I do. If you want a complimentary consultation, there's a link on my website, and it generates a link, and I'll get an email and I'll call you. We can do that. But if you want to do coffee, yes, I am open to doing a coffee and get to know each other, but we're not doing a complimentary consultation because that's something I do with, on the phone, and, if you want to get to know my services, that's something different. So yeah, people have to, obviously, you just have to set your boundaries and let people know that. One other great example comes to my mind is, and I know you mentioned, because it's a service-based business, it's because it's all in my head, it's all consulting and counseling and all of that. People are always asking for advice, like on social media, or I get messages, private messages, oh, what do you think about XYZ, or what do you think about the water? Okay, well, you know what? I get paid for that. So if you really want my services, please go on my website, or we can talk about it and do a complimentary consultation. We can talk about that there. But I'm sorry, I can't post away my advice on Facebook because I get paid for that. So I will just let them know. I mean, straight up front, you just have to be nice, not be obviously, like rude or anything. But people have to understand this is what I get paid for. So if they want my help, they just have to follow the proper channels.
No, I love that, because you're refocusing them, right? You're saying, okay, I get it, because I'm friendly and I do post value. I share my articles from LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I do all these things. Maybe there was a misunderstanding that I would also give you consultation online. Like maybe there was something that was wrong. So let me clarify. And you do it. I've seen you do it very professionally, which I always have to smile at. Like, you go ahead, Ashvini.
Thank you. And there's a fine line between sharing information, like you said, articles or blogs, and posting that, and then answering every other post or every other people who ask questions about that article. There's a fine line between that. I mean, if I start doing that, obviously you're not going to have a life, So yeah, there's a fine line between that. You post what you need to do for your business, and if people have more questions, then they just have to come and talk to me at my 30 minutes complimentary consultation. So yeah.
No, that makes sense. The other thing that people may or may not know, and if you don't know, you're going to know today, in my Kevin Hart voice, you're going to learn today. Ashvini offers these amazing webinar series. So that's another way to come and get the information. Maybe you're not ready for an individual consultation yet, or you're nervous about having so much attention. I know that I went through that when I first started having complications with, I have a rare disease, and I started having these issues. We didn't know what it was. I was really nervous about having an individual one-on-one, because that all about me moment meant that I was really going to have to make some serious changes, right? And it's easier to look at someone else's life and say, wow, you just have to do what you have to do for your health. It's a whole nother thing to literally have to walk in those shoes every single day, and some days those shoes feel tight, especially when you're around other people who are eating what they want and enjoying life at a different level than you think you can, because you have to make different choices to maintain your health. And sometimes it makes you nervous with one-to-one, but offering these group-based programs that you do allows you to help people in an environment where they feel a little bit safe. They can hide just a little bit because they can have someone else who's a little braver in that particular area say, oh, well, Ashvini, I'm having a struggle with, my sex life because of my nutrition, and I'm feeling lethargic, and just all these other things that are happening at XYZ time of day, and it's interrupting my marriage. They're able to bring that up, and now Sally, Sue, Sam, and John can also say, hey, well, does that have something to do with me? Because we've been noticing this too. So I think those webinar series that you do are really beneficial for lots of reasons, but especially for that one.
Right, and I have a lot of platforms where people can get to know me before they want to start hiring me for their services. So that's why I've created these platforms, like you said, the webinar, my ebooks, my obviously, I'm coming up with another book. So I'm creating a lot of these platforms. I also write for different publications, so people can just get to know me. And I know it's very intimidating to, like you said, people don't want to share, people might not be ready to change, or they're thinking, oh, whether should I change or not change. So it's obviously a lot of things have to go in their head before they even hire and are ready to hire me. So that's why I've created these platforms where they can come, get to know me, get my information, read my articles, and then if they're comfortable, they can contact me. So that's why I created these platforms.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and it helps you balance your life better because so many people have the same questions. So you're giving them a place where cohesively they can come together with people who are thinking like them or maybe stuck in the similar places they are, and you can help more people more effectively in that one time, and then, you know, bring people out when they're ready and willing to come into an individual space, whether that's face-to-face inside your office or via private Skype sessions, which makes sense. But then that brings me to a point about you refueling. So you know what to eat, you know what not to eat, you know how to exercise and all that. What do you do when you just really, you're like, oh, I'm so over being healthy, let me just have some cheese puffs or something? What do you do?
So, like, I always keep telling my clients, everybody's not perfect. So, you know, we don't live in a perfect world. It's about progress, not being perfect. And that's what my whole philosophy is. And that's what I follow in my life too. So obviously I also have my moments where, you know, I feel like eating ice cream or chocolate. I love my wine. I'm never going to say no to wine. I need my wine every night. So I think every mom needs wine, a glass of wine.
Yes.
Because obviously we're so, you know, so stressed and just want to just relax and decompress, and, you know, dinner time, just talk to your kids and have a glass of wine and a nice dinner. So that's fine. I mean, I mean, it's not like I have a plan every day what I'm going to do with my meals or what I'm going to do. It just comes to me. Okay, at the moment, I will just think, okay, what do I feel like cooking? All right, let's do this. If I feel tired, okay, I don't want to cook today. Let's just eat something simple like a salad and grilled cheese. I mean, it's like I said, it's not about being perfect, you know. It's just have to live in the moment and enjoy life, and not be so obsessed about, okay, I need to be on a meal plan, and I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and well, then you're going to be stressed and, you know, just thinking about your next meal, and what are you going to do next, and you're not living in the moment. So, yeah, I mean, I have my days where I go out and eat. I eat buffalo wings, I eat burgers, and I enjoy, but at the same time, it's all about balance and moderation. It's not about, you know, going all crazy with it. I don't do it every day. I do it over the weekend or a celebration or with my daughter's birthday. You know, you have a life to live, so you just have to be realistic.
No, that totally makes sense. You made me think about people's failure. And there's nothing wrong with failure because you learn from it. Right. But there's those things that we do that can be avoided if we pay attention. And one is, to use your example with eating out, if you're eating out for breakfast because you had a breakfast meeting, and you're eating out for lunch, and then you go home and you're too tired to cook, and you're eating out again, and you see yourself creating a pattern of 2 to 3 days, and when you're eating out, you're not necessarily making the salad and grilled cheese choices. You're doing you know, buffalo wings, cheese fries, and burgers, and you notice that now your energy is affected. The way you think is cloudy. Your mood is changing. If you're noticing those things, you really have to sit back and pay attention to how are those life choices in your nutrition and your exercise or lack thereof affecting you in your professional career growth or in your business or as a wife, as a woman who's dating, as a mother. I had to think about that when I was listening to you, because I know that there are definitely times of day when I didn't get, because I don't eat enough. When I'm like, my calorie intake is so low because of the really stringent way that I have to eat, that I don't often eat enough. And I find myself being really cranky by a certain time of day.
Yeah, that happens. Yes.
It does. And my husband, which is where it affects me in my relationship, he'll mention like, do you need something? Do you need me to get you something? Because you're going down a path of you're going to be by yourself tonight if you keep it up. You know, like, it can affect you.
It makes a lot of difference in how you are, how you present yourself, how you are with your family, your husband or your partner, your kids, even in your professional life and your productivity. If you're sluggish and low energy, how are you going to get through your business and see clients, or even do one 9-to-5 job? Or if you're a stay-at-home mom, how are you going to take care of them? Yes, food affects all of those. Now, my point was not, my point here was obviously when I was saying that is to enjoy life, not to be, obsessed about being on a certain plan or something, whatever diet. It's about living in the moment and make choices mindfully. You have to make, like, as you mentioned, if you're eating out 3 meals a day, there's something you need to step back and kind of, reassess. What can you change in your life, to start your, make your life better nutritionally. So definitely need to take a step back there. Yeah.
Absolutely. So speaking of husbands, how do you reconnect with yours after a long, productive, and hopefully successful day in business, and the girls are settled, and you talked to your mom and your family and a couple of friends, and you've just been everything to everyone, and you've even had your glass of wine for yourself? What do you do to carve out some time to reconnect with your husband?
So that's a good question. We actually do date nights, or we will obviously send our kids away or have a babysitter.
Yeah.
We will just reconnect, or, during the weeknights it's a little harder, but, weekends is where it mostly works. Or just do vacation like this Friday. He's not working, I'm not working, and we're just, the kids are going to be at the sitters, and it's just going to be him and my day. Probably go watch a movie and have some nice lunch somewhere and just reconnect there. So yeah, some little things. And I'm not saying, we do always go out. Something like in our backyard, we'll just sit there and have a drink together. Some little things like that. And we both like to connect over food, so that's something that brings us together. And we do that, yeah. So we just find time to just kind of do that once a week and get that reconnect, with each other.
I love that. That's awesome, because you're doing what I call staycations.
Yeah.
And it's not hingent on, how much money did we make this week? Can we afford to do it? Can we make that fiscal decision to go travel the world, which those things are good too. But it's a good thing that you can actually implement pretty consistently, because it's something that you can do anywhere you are.
Anywhere you are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's very important. I mean, I feel if I haven't connected with him, I'm like, okay, I feel lost right now, because if he doesn't know what's going on in my life, and I don't know what's going on in his life, so that's where we just reconnect, see how we, just go back and say, hey, how's it going? Just rechecking.
I love it. So speaking of rechecking and connecting, where's one of your favorite places to visit that you would recommend to Balance Beam listeners to check out the next time they have an opportunity?
Okay, well, I like that question. I told you this, that I'm going to answer that travel question, of course. Well, so usually what happens is when I'm taking a vacation, my first choice is always India, because that's where my parents are. So obviously India is a beautiful country. I know it's a little challenge to go there and get adjusted, and with the weather, and just it is a challenge. But it is a beautiful country. There's some, the Taj Mahal, and one of the 7 wonders of the world is in India. So I go there just to reconnect back to my roots. That's very important to me, and I do that every once a year. Just because I feel that when I go there, I get reconnected. This is where I belong, and this is where I am. This is where I started, and I just need to go back there and just kind of check in over there. But other tourists, I mean, if you're looking for travel-wise, this summer, and it's one of my actually, I don't know, what is it called? The to-do list?
Your bucket list. Your bucket list, yes.
Right. Is we're doing the Alaska cruise with my kids. So the whole family's going, and I really I've heard good things about it. So it's beautiful, and I don't know. So I want to check it out. I have never been there. I don't know. So that's something that I would recommend that people look into if they like cruises and they like to go to Alaska.
That is awesome. Ashvini, you have been an amazing guest. A pleasure as always. I love just talking to you. And I was glad to have an opportunity to welcome other people into our conversation, because this really is how we talk when we meet up. So I was grateful to have kind of an open window, visual and audio, for the world to listen in and hear what business women who are professionals, who are very serious, ethical, and full of integrity really do talk like when they're together. So thank you for that. And tell everybody how to connect to you.
Sure. So my website is wellnessnutritionconcepts.com. People can find me on social media, Facebook as Ashvini Mashru, and obviously my email, ash@wellnessnutritionconcepts.com. I'm very active on social media, so if you find me on LinkedIn, I'm active as well there as Ashvini Mashru. So if you send a friend request or follow me on my business page, Wellness Nutrition Concepts, I will obviously respond to you right back. So yes.
Let me just say and confirm, she is very active on social media. It is not anyone else but her. Yeah, she is very it doesn't matter what time, I can email or text or send her some kind of message via social media and she responds. So definitely, it is not a robot, it is not an intern, it is not anyone but her being very personal.
Yes. Yeah, I keep it personal. It's me who's responding. So
that is so awesome. Ashvini, you stay right there. Balance Beamers, don't go anywhere. We have more tools you can infuse. Welcome back to another empowerment moment just for you. I want you to really sit there just for a second and reflect on all that you do and all the ways that you really try hard to be perfect. And then I want you to ask yourself, do you really want to be perfect? Think about it. Perfect people can't make any mistakes. Perfect people have to talk right, look right, act right, dress right, stand right, do everything right. But whose right is it? What you do perfect here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, might be really imperfect over in Europe or India, some other area of Asia or Africa. Perfect is really something that no one can qualify. If you're not God, you can't qualify it. And if you are God, He understands we're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to do our best at everything that we can do our best at. And the mistakes we make, we learn from them. I embrace the fact that I speak a little bit funny. If I talk too fast and get wound up with excitement, sometimes I trip over my words. I actually just make fun of it and have a really good time laughing at the fact, here I am with 5,000 degrees, certifications, and $300,000+ in loans to prove it, with all of this expertise, and sometimes I can't even say my name right because I'm like so excited and it comes off like Naketa, and it didn't sound right at all. But it's okay, and I embrace the fact that I'm not perfect. I enjoy all of me. That doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and make unintentional, really ridiculous mistakes just because it's like, hey, I'm not perfect, I can be free and do what I want. I'm going to try to avoid mistakes whenever I can, but I'm also not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to be me. I hope you enjoyed this empowerment moment.